Hey guys, today's episode is going to be about the precarious balance between being a craftsman and creating a novel that you're proud of and also knowing how to market it. You don't want to sell your soul in the process, but it is a necessity to sell your books. So we're going to be looking at all the factors here, and if you have anything that I missed, please drop a comment. I'd love to hear. Also, like and subscribe. This is Story Art Outline, where we dissect stories, oftentimes caveman style, where it's just a jagged rock and we're hacking away at this idea or this concept, trying to get a better idea of how we create a fire, right?
Bad do you for killing Fire King.
Having self-published my own trilogy, marketing was something that I really struggled with. It actually is my 9 to 5, believe it or not, but there's so many different variations of marketing, and what I do is completely different than what a self-published author would need to do in order to grow a following, to make it big.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
Now, why do you need a following? Well, whether you're going the indie or trad route, a following is pretty much a necessity. You can put your books out there and really just count on volume and kind of cross your fingers and hope that people find them someday. But the chances of that happening are somewhat similar to winning the lottery. There's just so many books out there. And so in order to grow your own following, you have to look at the different avenues for doing so. I didn't go the TikTok route because listen, I'm a millennial. It was a little bit too much for me, but I could appreciate TikTok for what it was. It just wasn't my vibe. So when Reels steadily got better, I was like, oh, perfect. I will make Reels on Instagram because Instagram is just, that's where all the homies are at. So I started to try and make these Reels, and let's just say that they were unique and did not gain a lot of traction. The ones that did well tended to be the ones I least enjoyed creating. And so there often had to be sort of this humorous tilt to them. And believe it or not, it's just not really, it doesn't come naturally to me. And I definitely can't force humor. I tried the whole post every single day for 30 days and, respond to comments, use hashtags, yada yada, the content idea where it's like write down 12 ideas and then write 3 ideas for those 12, and then like boom, 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 and then create ideas off your other ideas, and whoa, you have this idea hydra, and it never ends. And I'm sure for some people that works really well. So you may be wondering, different outfit, hair looks longer, way less put together. You are correct. The audio on my last video only captured a fraction of the recording that I made. And so let's dive in. It's going to be great. So the content hydra was a grind. It is a grind. No matter what platform you end up deciding on, it is difficult to do something consistently. It doesn't really matter what it is.
We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression.
Even brushing my teeth at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, again? But you know what? Every morning and every night, I brush my teeth. We do the things that are good for us, ultimately. And marketing, as frustrating as it can be, is a very, very good thing for your books. Now, the pivotal mistake that I made was not starting this process prior to publishing. I very naively hoped, thought, prayed that my book series would just take off on its own, that people would recognize, like game recognizes game, right? And that just did not happen. Now, I had heard Philip C. Quaintrell, I've referenced him before. I've heard him on a podcast say that he basically just self-published his books, did no marketing, no paid advertising, and they did just take off. The algorithm really liked him, and his stories, they hold up. They're great stories, and you can see why this did really, really well. It's very put together, looks professionally done. And so I was hoping for the same thing. Now, that did not happen for me. And what I wish I had done was not put myself in a corner. And I wish instead that I had done a lot of this marketing prior to publishing, just so that I had put my name out there. I think the origin story has vast appeal to most people, right? Where we see you go from, oh, I'm sleeping on a mattress in my bare apartment, to running on the streets and like shadow boxing on the park. And yes, I have Rocky Balboa going through my head here, but you know what I mean? Like, it's people like to see the rise almost as much as they like to see the fall. Just saying. But this isn't about what my story was necessarily. This is about thinking through how you're going to market yourself as a self-publisher. And so my recommendation would be to evaluate the platforms, what's out there, and the pros and cons of each. For YouTube, I will start with that just because it's the one that I landed on. Ultimately, as I mentioned, you're not having to put out as much volume. Of course, that's up to you, but it doesn't require as much volume. It's not really an expectancy. and you're able to sit, record, think through what you're going to say, and then make the video. And of course, you can throw in fun little clips.
Yes, I really did.
Or you can just be a talking head talking to the camera. Like, that's totally fine. I've also seen where there's no head at all. Robot head, ironically enough, for someone else, where you are just basically using images or video clips and then lacing your voice over those and just speaking through whatever it is your topic is. So that's one option. Now, the downside of YouTube is for sure more so after the actual recording, just the editing process is probably the longest of any of them out there. But for me, I do like having somewhat of a story arc in the actual video that I'm making. I'm a fantasy author. What can I say? I like the long form type of stories. Instagram. I have a close friend of mine. She does amazing on there. She has a great following, super solid base, and over 10,000 followers, up from, like, I knew her back when I think she had like sub 1,000. So she has really grown it exponentially over the last couple of years. And she puts out reels, and honestly, a lot of them are not so much her. Like, she doesn't like putting herself out front and center, but it's taking clips or artwork for her books and then maybe adding some trending audio or some text overlay and some animation. It's really cool, and the stuff she's able to do is pretty awesome. So she thrives on Instagram, and that is for sure her platform. So what's nice about Instagram is the variety. Now, I know YouTube has YouTube Shorts and whatnot, but Instagram really feels like there's just more options. You can post stories, you can post, your static images, you can post longer form videos, you can go live, you can also just post reels. And reels are great just because people are scrolling, right? And then there's that follow button right there. It's so easy. We all know where it is. We click it and voila, you have a new follower. So reels make followership accessible. Now, to get a lot of followers, you have to play the game. You have to be putting out pretty high volume output, posting daily or every other day or relatively consistently throughout the month, hoping that the algorithm just picks you up and takes you to Neverland. What's cool though is you don't even have to do reels. I mean, I've seen authors who they'll mostly just do static images, and they will put out images, maybe have some text, use carousels or like that's absolutely a thing as well. So it's really up to you. And what is great about Instagram is that it is leaning more towards organic, authentic content and just people being real about who they are and what their life is. And so I think there's kind of the pendulum swinging back towards that. Whether or not you decide to go the traditional route or the indie route, you do need a following of some sort. And the following, now, it might not be on a social media platform. You could for sure go with an email marketing, right? And you just have a newsletter, maybe a landing page. And I would say, I've talked about ads before, but ads can work great for building an email list. So that's for sure an option.
I don't believe it.
Email marketing is great in the sense where you're not having to play someone else's game. You are the voice behind your emails. They do take a lot of effort up front, kind of like a YouTube video, but it also requires less volume than one of the social media platforms, just where you might put out a newsletter maybe once or twice a week. You don't necessarily have to do something daily. It's totally up to you. And that is the beauty of email newsletters. Now, if I'm recommending a platform, I think Beehive is fantastic just because it has a referral program built in. It grows it organically the absolute best way. I mean, it's word of mouth referral essentially, right? It doesn't take too much lift on Beehive to create a referral program and then to leverage that just to increase the number of subscribers that you have. I don't have experience with Snapchat, so I don't know if that is a plausible way to grow a following. Back when I was on Snapchat, it was kind of like snippets of your day. You send a pic of something, and it was more individualized. Like, I don't remember there being like a big post it to the world to see. So I'm not really sure about that platform. I'd be super curious if people do know how to grow a following for a book on Snapchat. Now, what not to do. So I probably wouldn't go around boosting posts. It's not a great way to build followers. And Facebook, Meta, so that includes Instagram, they don't let you go and specifically create a campaign to get more followers. They do protect that side of their business and just making it a social platform. Otherwise, believe me, a lot of companies would just be throwing money to do that. But as far as boosting posts go, again, it's not, you'll maybe increase your engagement, but it's just not a good way to build followers. You can try it. Like if you have a lot of extra money sitting around, sure, go for it, see what happens. But the ROI is probably not there. But at the end of the day, it's finding something that really fits your schedule, your preferences, and not trying to force a square peg into a round hole, because you want to, again, be hitting that consistency note. And in order to do that, it's finding the perfect pairing of platform, content, and post schedule so that you're able to build a content engine that will run and be reliable. You want a Toyota 4Runner. You don't want a shiny sports car that zips really quick and then dies down or can't go off-road. Come on, we need something practical here. Be very deliberate with what you're choosing to spend your time on, because time is the most valuable asset that we have. And no matter which avenue you go, all of these require a lot of time and effort.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't.
Here we go!
But they are necessary for building a following, and a following is pretty essential, whether you go the indie route or the trad route. So be considering everything carefully, and let me know if I missed something. Please drop a comment. Would love to hear your thoughts.